that this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
Named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac's murder.
It's one of the most explosive allegations to rock the music world in years. Could one of hip-hop's most iconic figures, Sean Diddy Combs, be secretly tied to the tragic and unresolved case of Shakur's 1996 drive-by shooting? For decades, whispers of conspiracy have circled Diddy's name, but recent revelations from Chopper, a former member of the rap group Day Band, have reignited the firestorm of speculation. His claims, paired with mounting legal troubles surrounding Diddy, are painting a picture that's darker and more tangled than anyone could have ever imagined.
Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Chopper, known for his time on Diddy's reality show Making the Band, didn't hold back during a candid interview with The Art of Dialogue. He pulled the curtain back on what he described as Diddy's long-standing grudge against Shakur, even going so far as to suggest that the animosity may have played a role in shaping the events that unfolded decades ago. Chopper recounted an eerie moment when he mentioned Shakur as one of his musical influences during a conversation with Diddy, only to be met with a chilling silence. According to him, Diddy was so furious that he refused to speak to him for days.
Yes. He hated every bit of it. I remember one time, he was like, who did you grow up listening to? I'm like, Tupac. I ain't mentioned Biggie. That nigga ain't even talk to me for like 4 days after that. Everything with Pac, like, you couldn't say Pac was anything better than Biggie. You can't put them in the same realm or nothing.
But the accusations didn't stop there. Chopper went on to allege that Diddy's current predicament, his arrest and ongoing legal battles, might actually be connected to an investigation into Shakur's tragic end. He theorized that authorities are holding Diddy not just for the charges he's currently facing, but also to delve deeper into his potential links to the infamous shooting. Chopper suggested that the FBI might already have evidence tying Diddy to a deal with Dwayne Keefe, Diddy to a deal with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the man now charged as a key player in Shakur's case.
And ain't no other way they gonna keep you in there of, Diddy did this to me. Oh, Diddy did that to me. I'm suing him. Oh, we got enough evidence to... No, you don't. That's accusations. That's not actual factual, brother. You dig? So I feel like the actual factual thing that they're really trying to aim for is the Keefe D.
For those unfamiliar, Keefe D has long been a controversial figure in the Shakur saga. In his own past interviews, Keefe D claimed that Diddy once offered a hefty sum, rumored to be in the millions, for a hit on Shakur. While these claims were dismissed as hearsay for years, Keefe D's recent arrest and impending trial have brought his statements back into the spotlight. Now, with Chopper's startling comments, a new layer of intrigue has been added to the case.
The only man currently facing murder charges in the case, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, claims that Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, paid for a hit on Tupac.
Diddy's defenders have been quick to dismiss the allegations. They point to his 2008 statement, in which he vehemently denied any involvement in Shakur's shooting, calling the accusations beyond ridiculous and completely false. But even as he tried to distance himself from the rumors, his critics have latched onto inconsistencies and coincidences throughout the years. And with his recent arrest, many are questioning whether there's more to the story than what Diddy has led on. Chopper's insights also highlighted a deeply personal side to the rivalry between Diddy and Shakur. He painted a picture of a man who not only resented Shakur's soaring popularity, but also felt threatened by the West Coast rapper's charisma and influence. Shakur was the king, Chopper explained. He had the whole world in the palm of his hand, and that didn't sit right with some people in New York. According to Chopper, Diddy's dislike for Shakur wasn't just professional. It was deeply personal. This animosity, combined with the East Coast-West Coast tensions of the 1990s, created a perfect storm of hostility that may have had far-reaching consequences.
Down Biggie, you did? Nick love Biggie, you heard me? Believe that. But Pop made me feel a different way. Pop made me feel him.
Adding fuel to the fire is the timing of Diddy's current legal troubles. His arrest on charges unrelated to Shakur's case has led to speculation that authorities are using this moment to dig deeper into other allegations tied to his name. Chopper's claims that investigators are actively working to link Diddy to Shakur's shooting align with the broader narrative of a legal system finally catching up to one of the most powerful figures in music.
That's why they ain't gonna let him out. They would have let Keefe D out on that bail. Vegas got a little thing. They'll let you out on bail, but they got little restrictions of how you can get out. You dig? So they're gonna make sure your ass can't get out of jail. Trust me. So that's the only way I see that.
The legal landscape surrounding Diddy is already complex. His charges range from misconduct to conspiracy, with multiple accusers coming forward in recent months to share their stories. While these cases are unrelated to Shakur's demise, they paint a troubling picture of a man whose empire may have been built on more than just talent and ambition. Chopper's theory that Diddy's refusal of bail is tied to the ongoing investigation into his past actions has only added to the public's curiosity and suspicion. Could it be that Diddy's current predicament is merely the tip of the iceberg?
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
Chopper's revelations also raise questions about the role of power and influence in shielding individuals from accountability. For years, Diddy has been one of the most formidable figures in the music industry, commanding respect and wielding significant control. But as Chopper pointed out, even the most untouchable figures can eventually face the consequences of their actions. Critics, however, warn against jumping to conclusions. They argue that Chopper's comments, while compelling, are ultimately unverified and potentially self-serving. As a former associate of Diddy, Chopper's motivations for speaking out now could be questioned. Is he genuinely seeking justice for Shakur, or is he using the current climate to settle old scores? These questions underscore the complexity of the situation and the need for a thorough investigation to separate fact from rumor.
That's of course. There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
Despite the skepticism, Chopper's interview has undeniably reignited public interest in Shakur's case. Social media platforms have been buzzing with debates, theories, and speculation about what really happened that fateful night in Las Vegas. For many, the idea that Diddy could be implicated in such a high-profile case is both shocking and fascinating. It challenges everything they thought they knew about the man who once dominated the charts and redefined the music industry. As the narrative continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The story of Shakur's life and untimely departure remains as relevant today as it was nearly 3 decades ago. The mystery surrounding his case has captivated generations of fans, and the recent developments only deepen the intrigue. Whether or not Diddy is ultimately connected to Shakur's case, the ongoing investigation serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of these events on the world of hip-hop.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
The story of Shakur's untimely exit from the music world is one of the most enduring mysteries in entertainment history. But what if the answer to it has been hiding in plain sight all along? As more details emerge, connections between the East Coast-West Coast rivalry and the shadowy figures who operated behind the scenes are becoming almost impossible to ignore. And at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs continues to face accusations that could change the way we view the golden age of hip-hop forever. To understand how things escalated to this point, we need to revisit the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud of the 1990s, a rivalry that wasn't just about music, but about power, influence, and dominance. On one side, there was Diddy's Bad Boy Records, which had rapidly risen to the top of the East Coast scene with the success of the notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie. On the other side was Death Row Records, led by Suge Knight, with Shakur as its crown jewel. Both labels weren't just competing for chart dominance. They represented 2 completely different cultures, and for fans, it often felt like they had to pick a side.
Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac. Today, we are taking that first step.
This wasn't just a friendly competition, though it was heated, personal, and, as history would show, dangerous. The tension was palpable, with the rivalry playing out in music, interviews, and public appearances. One of the most public moments came during the 1995 Source Awards, where Suge Knight famously called out Diddy without naming him directly. Any artist out there who wants to be an artist and stay a star. And don't want to have to worry about the executive producer all in the videos, all on the records, dancing. Come to Death Row, Knight said, taking a swipe at Diddy's habit of appearing front and center in Bad Boys music videos.
Now, Combs has long denied any involvement with Tupac's. He's never been charged. Our question this morning, how believable is Keefe D's Diddy accusation?
The crowd erupted, and while Diddy later got on stage to call for unity, the damage had been done. That night crystallized the feud for fans and industry insiders alike. It was no longer just about music. It was about loyalty, about which coast you repped and who you believed was the rightful king of hip-hop. And at the heart of this feud were 2 men whose careers would forever be linked, Shakur and Biggie. What many don't realize is that Shakur and Biggie were actually friends before all this. They performed together, hung out, even respected each other's craft. But things took a dark turn in 1994 when Shakur was attacked at a New York recording studio. He survived the incident, but he walked away believing that Biggie and Diddy, who were at the same studio that night, had prior knowledge of what was going to happen. In an interview with VIBA magazine, Shakur recalled how no one came to his aid, saying, "Nobody approached me. I noticed that nobody would look at me. Biggie and Diddy denied having anything to do with the incident, but the damage to their relationship with Shakur was irreparable. Shakur felt betrayed, and the bitterness spilled over into his music." By the time Shakur was released from prison in 1995 and signed with Death Row Records, he was ready for war. His track Hit 'Em Up is still considered one of the most aggressive diss songs in hip-hop history, with Shakur taking aim at Biggie, Diddy, and anyone associated with Bad Boy Records. It wasn't just a diss track, it was a declaration of war.
Well, I'd certainly view everything he's saying with a lot of suspicion, right? I mean, he was in an interrogation in 2009 and offered this information up. And if he's truly involved in the killing of Tupac, he's looking to throw anything out there, to throw mirrors out there to deflect the accusations against him onto someone else.
What makes this rivalry even more intriguing is the role of Keefe D, a figure who has become central to the ongoing investigation into Shakur's case. Keefe D, a former Los Angeles gang leader, has claimed in interviews and his memoir that he was involved in the events leading up to Shakur's shooting. According to Keefe D, the feud wasn't just about music. It was about respect, pride, and, ultimately, retaliation. He's alleged that Diddy offered him a significant amount of money to handle Shakur, a claim that Diddy has consistently denied.
This could potentially be a diversion, turning an investigation or a trial into a circus. And it's, when you do that, it's easier to get a dismissal. Ask Alec Baldwin. But the judge has already accused attorneys for Davis of shaping media attention about the case involving, as you know, one of hip-hop's most fascinating mysteries, saying it seems like your plan, your end goal here is to make some kind of show.
But here's where things get even murkier. Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, was long suspected of being involved in the incident that took Shakur's life. Anderson had been in a physical altercation with Shakur and members of Death Row's entourage just hours before the incident that would change hip-hop forever. According to Keefe D, it was this altercation that set the wheels in motion. But the bigger question remains, was this all part of a larger plan? And if so, who was pulling the strings? As the investigation into Keefe D's role has intensified, so too has the scrutiny on Diddy. Some believe that the authorities are now piecing together evidence that could link him to the events of that night in Las Vegas. This theory gained traction when Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested in 2023 and charged with being a key participant in the incident. While Keefe D has yet to stand trial, his past statements and connections to Diddy have fueled speculation that this case could finally reveal the truth about what happened to Shakur.
He's the only witness. He's the only witness that's tying Puff to the Pac thing. The only witness that's alive.
But Diddy's defenders argue that he's being unfairly targeted. They point to the fact that he has denied any involvement for decades, and that much of the evidence against him is based on hearsay and unverified claims. Diddy himself has called the allegations ridiculous and false, insisting that neither he nor Biggie had any knowledge of or connection to the events that unfolded that night. And yet for many, the questions remain. It's worth noting that Diddy's rise to power during this period was nothing short of meteoric. After being fired from Uptown Records, he launched Bad Boy Records in 1993, and within a few short years, he had built a music empire. Biggie's debut album was a massive success, and Bad Boy quickly became synonymous with East Coast hip-hop. Diddy's flashy persona, combined with his undeniable talent for spotting and nurturing talent, made him one of the most influential figures in the industry.
They got to come up with some kind of evidence, and they got to have Keefe D say and point to some kind of evidence, which I don't think he could, that Diddy put out the hit on Tupac. Yeah, they gonna press him.
But with success came controversy. Critics have long accused Diddy of exploiting the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to boost his own profile and that of his label. They argue that he leaned into the drama, knowing that the conflict would generate headlines and sell records. Whether or not that's true, there's no denying that the rivalry played a significant role in shaping the careers of everyone involved, for better or worse.
They pressing him so bad, and I don't know how I should say this, that a week or two ago, they beat him up in jail. The cops.
For Shakur, the feud was deeply personal. He saw himself not just as an artist, but as a voice for the voiceless, someone who used his platform to speak out about social issues and injustices. His music was raw, emotional, and often political, and he wasn't afraid to call out those he felt had wronged him. For Biggie, the rivalry was more about defending his reputation and his coast. He was a storyteller, someone who could paint vivid pictures with his lyrics, and he wasn't about to let anyone question his place in the game.
Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
As for Diddy, he's always maintained that he wanted peace between the coasts. But critics argue that his actions didn't always align with his words. Whether it was his decision to release Who Shot Ya shortly after Shakur's 1994 attack, a move that many saw as a taunt, or his public feud with Suge Knight, Diddy's role in the rivalry has always been a point of contention. The events of the 1990s still cast a long shadow over hip-hop today. The losses of Shakur and Biggie remain two of the most significant and devastating moments in music history, and the questions surrounding their cases have never truly gone away. With new developments in the investigation into Shakur's case, the spotlight is once again on Diddy, and fans are left wondering whether the truth will finally come to light. But here's the thing, even if the full story is revealed, will it bring closure? For many, the rivalry between East and West wasn't just about two coasts, it was about two cultures, two ways of life, and two visions for what hip-hop could be. And for those who lived through it, the legacy of that era is as much about the music as it is about the tragedy.
Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a...
As the narrative continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The story of Shakur, Biggie, and Diddy is far from over. With new claims, new evidence, and new players coming to the forefront, the truth may finally be within reach. But until then, the mystery remains, and the hip-hop world can only watch and wait for the next chapter to be written. So, what do you think? Could Diddy's alleged grudge against Shakur have played a more sinister role in the rapper's tragic end? And with Chopper's revelations, is it possible that the legal system is finally closing in on one of hip-hop's most powerful figures? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. The team wants to hear from you. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue. Goodbye for now.